This is the first video in our Golfbidder putter mini series, and we're going to start by today looking at the many types of putter necks there are out there, how they differ and which ones suit a particular stroke. Now, the neck of the putter is the bit of metal between the bottom of the shaft and the putter head. Lots of putters have hosels. That's the bit of metal between the bottom of the shaft and putter head on these ones, and lots more putters have no hosel at all, like these one here, and instead have the shaft running straight into the head. Hosel or not, there are lots of putter neck and hosel variations out there, and they do a very important job in terms of both how the putter looks behind the ball at address and how it performs when it strokes and strikes the ball. And hopefully after this video you'll know the differences between them all and which one might suit you best. So bang a like and subscribe to the Golfbidder YouTube channel down here, and off we go. Now let's start with this one here, because it's probably the most recognizable one seen on millions of putters. And this neck is known by a few different names. The plumber's neck, because it resembles maybe a bit of plumbing pipe, also called the L neck or the crack neck. Now the plumber's neck is really popular on these blade type putters, and I'll explain more about that in a second. But in essence, on a plumber's neck, there's a horizontal bend at the bottom of the shaft here, generally a shaft width wide. So when you address the ball with one of these putters, your hands are a little bit in front of the ball. We say the head is offset, and it makes it really easy to put a nice stroke on the putt when your hands are in front like this. Now, as a general rule of thumb, putters with a plumber's neck are generally what we call toe hang putters. That just means that if I balance the putter shaft on my finger like this, look at where the toe part here hangs or points towards the ground. That's because the toe end of the putter here is further away from the point where it meets the head, and that is done on purpose to suit players with an arcing putting stroke. And that means it opens slightly on the way back and comes back square at impact. So if you love a little bit of offset at address, if you like the idea of having your hands ahead of the ball at address, if you have this arcing or slightly arcing putting stroke, or if you're a player who stands a little bit further away from the ball, maybe your eye's not quite over the ball and have an arcing stroke as a result, then the plumber's neck will be a great option for you. Mallet putters are enormously popular nowadays. I use one myself, and they very often have a neck like this one here. It's called an S-bend or double bend shaft, because if you look at it, there are two kinks on it. There's actually no hosel at all, just this bending in the shaft before it meets the putter head. Now the double bend is such so that at address the putter's head is again behind the hands for a nice flowing stroke, only this time the stroke will be a more straight back and straight through stroke. That is because this S-bend shaft here works great in making a putter face balanced. It's face balanced. If I put the putter on my finger like this, it points straight to the sky. If I roll it on my finger, it always wants to come back horizontal. So as a general rule of thumb, S-bend or double bend necks like this, used on a putter models, that they suit straight back and straight through strokes. Back through, square through, with very little rotation of the putter head. And very similar to the S-bend or double bend in mode of action and performance is the single bend neck. This time there's only one bend in the bottom of the shaft, or one kink. The bend again puts the putter head behind the hands to create offset, and you'll again find it makes the putter face balanced and suits a straight back, straight through stroke. So why would you choose a single bend over a double bend neck if they do the same job? Well, with the single bend you could argue there's less complication at the bottom of the shaft. The look of the putter head at address is cleaner and clearer, but essentially single bend or double bend is really just a question of cosmetics and what you like best. Now the next type of neck we have here is called a slant neck. It kind of has the plumber's neck hosel vibe, only this time the hosel bends back from the shaft line. Now the bend can be made more pronounced than other necks to give a more substantial amount of offset and really help you strike up on the ball when putting. Now these slant neck setups are really popular with tour professionals because you can essentially get what should be a high MOI, or it doesn't want to twist mallety head like this one here. You can put a slant neck on it, and now it goes from being face balanced to having a little bit of toe hang. A lot of the best players in the world use an arcing putting stroke, so now they can use a big forgiving mallet head putter with a slant neck with their arcing putting stroke. So next time you're watching your favorite player on tour, if he's using a mallet putter, see if it has a slant neck on there. Very similar to the slant neck is the flow neck. Now the principle is exactly the same here, only this time the shaft flows to the head seamlessly. There's no kink. Flow neck hosels generally allow putters to have plenty of toe hang, which will again suit players with a more pronounced arc in their putting stroke. This putter here has a high MOI. It doesn't want to twist, means the head is very stable, resistant to twist. So this flow neck and strong toe hang, it's going to be super for someone who really likes to open the face on the way back and let the putter bring itself perfectly back square at impact. And the last neck we will look at is a dead straight one, often used like this in center shafted putters. The shaft joins in the middle of the head, right behind the sweet spot. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Super easy to line up with the shaft right behind the ball. Great feel because your hands are now more connected to the axis where the head hits the ball. Center shafted putters are generally face balanced. Yep, look at this one here, pointing straight up to the sky. It wants a player with a straight back, straight through pendulum stroke. If most of the other necks we looked at enter the head near the heel, this center shafted one will usually sit flatter at address. Essentially, the shaft is extending a bit further away from you, and you might notice that your hands feel a little bit lower at address. Some players really like that. Now, being that the center shaft is the most controllable too, they are usually the easiest to hold the face a little bit open or a little bit closed. If that's something that you feel will help you just to tweak your stroke, they won't try to fight you as much. So to summarize, we had the traditional plumber's neck, instantly recognizable on millions of blade putters that have toe hang and is great for an arcing putting stroke. We had the single and double bend, the S-bend necks that you see on face balance putters, mallets and the like, that suit a flowing straight back, a straight through stroke. We had slant and flow necks that can increase the amount of offset and can be used to put toe hang characteristics on high MOI or mallet putters so that they now suit an arcing putting stroke. And we said lots of tour players use them. And we had the center shaft, great feel, easy to line up and face balanced or for a pendulum straight back, straight through stroke. So there we have it, a pretty comprehensive rundown of putter necks. There's a lot more to it, isn't there, than meets the eye. I've simplified it as much as possible, and there are loads of permutations and combinations out there. Comment below what head and neck style works for you. And again, make sure to press like and subscribe to the Golfbidder YouTube channel to get notified of our next video in our putter mini series. And of course, follow us across Facebook, Twitter and Instagram to keep up to date with the very latest. For me, for now though, it's Donal, out.